It is the right direction to read it, Jack. WP Fusion. It's
Nice.
Emily, it's Jack, it's Katie. We're coming to you live from WP Fusion. Sorry, I clicked go live and then you asked the question and I was like, oh no. But hey, everybody who's watching, you have the three of us from WP Fusion here for the next hour to answer any questions you have. We're going to be talking about abandoned cart tracking and enhanced e-commerce with WP Fusion specifically, but that's not all, because there's a Black Friday special going on right now that we'll also be talking about where you can get 30% off of the packages that we offer at WP Fusion at wpfusion.com/Black-Friday. We'll put that here in the chat in a minute, but let us know where you're calling in from and if you have any questions, and we'll kick it off with some of our conversations around e-commerce and abandoned cart tracking. But first, let's check in. How are you doing today, Jack? And how are you doing today, Katie?
I'm doing all right. This has been a lot of work. Yeah, can we get up some fireworks up in here? Yeah, I've been up since 5, getting everything prepped and yeah, getting the emails to go out. And every time we update anything on the website, the CSS all needs to get rebuilt and the caches get regenerated. And we're barely keeping it together over here, but yeah, it's working. We're off to a good start for Black Friday.
Nice.
Hey folks, it's Katie Laurel. I'm also doing all right. Thanks for asking, Emily. Yeah, there was some miscommunication that I'd love to address at the start of this live stream in case folks are tuning in. But in our newsletter, there was a typo regarding a lifetime discount that is actually not valid. The only discount that we have, actually we have 3 discounts, which is exciting, and they are for the 3 annual plans. So if you click on this link in the corner that you see, wpfusion.com/Black-Friday, you will be able to see the plans that are discounted this weekend until Monday. So definitely, please grant me forgiveness in that communication. And yeah, happy Black Friday, folks.
Happy Black Friday. So
Happy Black Friday.
and we're going to be doing streams this weekend. So we're going to do our stream today. We have a stream scheduled for tomorrow for Cyber Saturday, and then one scheduled for Monday, Cyber Monday, and we'll be talking about a little bit of different topics each time. So be sure to check in with each of the streams. Even if you've already gotten your Black Friday discount, we'll be talking about some cool ways that you can use the integrations you just picked up. But yeah, where do we want to kick it off, folks? I do have a demo site up with enhanced e-commerce, and so and the abandoned cart tracking, so we could pick it up with any of our preloaded questions until we get some questions in the chat.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, why don't we get started with the questions, which, as again, I am the expert of questions, and these two are the expert of answers. So we'll start like that. And the first question I've got today is, how does WP Fusion integrate with e-commerce platforms for abandoned cart tracking?
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm going to post it in the comments real quick and pull it up. There it goes. How does WP Fusion integrate with e-commerce platforms for abandoned cart tracking? So there's an add-on available with WP Fusion, and if I share my screen, I can show you how this one works. WP Fusion settings. So abandoned cart tracking is something that's useful for a lot of businesses that are running out of WooCommerce, easy digital downloads. When people come and add products to their cart on your website, I don't have WooCommerce set up super well on this site, but I do have it activated. So if I were to visit a store page, let me see if I have a product created that we can work with. Visit a store page, add a product to my cart, and then leave my cart with a product having been added. For example, if we're selling a course, I don't need the tutorial, thank you. Let's see. So we're selling a course with WooCommerce. The course is $100, and we're going to publish this. And when people view our product page, add that to their cart. Add it to their cart. And if I were to leave the website with something added to my cart, and if we have my email being tracked, we can add that data to the CRM. and send follow-ups to say, hey, you left something in the cart, here's a discount if you want to come back and complete your purchase, or hey, you left something in the cart, if you're still interested in this product, let us know, and we'll send you a discount, send you an additional add-on if you were to buy. There's options that we can do to incentivize people who are interested in our product enough to add it to the cart, but not interested enough to complete the purchase at that time, in order to push them to complete that purchase. And the abandoned cart add-on from WP Fusion, which is available, I can't remember which package off the top of my head, but I could pull up the pricing here.
It's on the plus and professional plans. But yeah, you can pull up the pricing and show folks what we've got on sale today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm managing Windows here, wpfusion.com/Black Friday. So we're looking at plus and professional plans. So that's going to be this level and the professional level. And you can see the 30% off discount will get you a lot of savings today. But the abandoned cart tracking is what we're looking at. And we'll also take a look at enhanced e-commerce. And so those are the two packages that include this add-on. But what the configuration for this add-on looks like is if we go to settings, WP Fusion, and then I think it's add-ons. Yeah, abandoned cart tracking. So I have WooCommerce specifically installed, and the settings here will look a little bit different if you're using EC Digital Downloads, but they'll basically be the same.
I must interject to say we also support it with Lifter LMS, MemberPress, and Paid Memberships Pro, which are very popular membership and LMS plugins that don't have any existing abandoned cart tracking functionality that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So if you are on WooCommerce, EDD, Lifter LMS, MemberPress, or Paid Memberships Pro, this add-on for the abandoned cart tracking will add a lot of functionality to help get your users over the finish line of buying your products. And so I'm using Fluent CRM in this example. So Fluent CRM is one of those CRMs that'll go out of the back end of your WordPress website, but you could also connect it to any of the supported WP Fusion CRMs. So we can integrate basically all of these tools for selling products and abandoned cart tracking features with all the CRMs WP Fusion supports, which is really awesome. And so how this would work is, my cat's trying to steal my yogurt. I have to move my yogurt. Okay. But we would select the recovery URL. So this is going to be the page where people are going to abandon. Is that right, Jack? Where like this is like if we want people to abandon the cart, or if they abandon the checkout page.
This would be where they get taken to. The basic idea of how it works and the way we've made it work with every CRM that we support, all 55 of them, is that we use a tag to indicate that the cart was abandoned, and then we use a custom field to store a link that the customer can click to recover their cart. So this first setting controls where that link goes. In most cases, you would use the checkout with WooCommerce, for example. But there are some popular add-ons for WooCommerce that lets you create custom checkout funnels. Like you might have a different sales funnel for one product versus another one. And in that case, you could use the current page. So if they're on how to be a salesman course A, and then they're in that sales funnel and they abandon their cart at the last step, then the current page setting would take them right back to where they left off on that custom funnel.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are using like cart flows or launch flows or something like that to optimize WooCommerce and turn it into a ClickFunnels style setup. So that's awesome. So for us, we'll probably send people right to checkout because I'm just using WooCommerce out of the box. And then we can apply a tag when someone begins a checkout process and then ultimately ends up potentially abandoning the cart. And so I created this tag over in Fluent CRM, and so I could create automations to send follow-up emails based on this tag being applied, but we could also send follow-up campaigns later down the line. If people did not end up buying from our follow-up campaigns saying, hey, you left something in your cart, here's the link to check out with potentially a discount. If people didn't respond to that, we can still store them in a contact list with a tag for later so that we can hit them up in mass and say, hey, you were interested in our product a few months ago. We're doing a Black Friday sale now. Here's another opportunity for you to buy. So it allows you to store those users in a list or a tag for potential later use. And then you can also change the abandoned cart delay. So this is the amount of minutes before sending the abandoned cart data to Fluent CRM. So this is right. So this Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So this is, so there's a little bit of a story here. Emily, you can be the strategy person, and I'll be all the history of the technical baggage we've acquired over the years. It used to be back in the day, you would have, for example, Keep, which is our first CRM we supported, and had a very powerful automation builder. And people wanted to do all of their logic and all of their timing in Keep. So what we did was, as soon as the customer entered their checkout information, even if they were going to finish checking out, we would tag them. And that sets off all your Keep automations, and then you can set them through different branches and funnels depending on the conditions and things like that. Now, as we have more CRMs running in WordPress, and we're also supporting more basic systems that don't have automation like that, we've now added this option so WP Fusion can do the delay for you. So this is kind of new. So if you use this feature, it just means that WP Fusion will wait for 30 minutes to see if the customer finishes checking out, and it will only apply the tag after 30 minutes if they haven't completed checkout.
Okay, awesome. That's a super useful feature, so that we don't send them like, hey, you added the product to the cart 10 seconds ago. Why haven't you bought it yet?
Exactly. You want some delay. You can either do it in the WP Fusion settings, or you can do it in an automation in your workflow builder in your CRM. And we have some examples of how to set that up in our documentation too.
Yeah. And if you do want to check out more of our documentation, there's a full overview with all of the settings and options available in this add-on here. And another thing that we can do with recovering user data when they abandon the cart is sync our cart fields. So there's things like cart value and discount code. So if someone had maybe a discount code applied, or if they had a discount amount or cart value, we could say, if someone has a certain cart value, we want to send them this email. If they have a different cart value, let's send them a different one. And so not only does the abandoned cart add-on add settings to this page, but when we're in our contact fields as well, we'll also have some options here. And those are the abandoned cart options. So if I were to create a user field in, for example, Fluent CRM, I think I'll do this by going to contacts. I should have one contact. I have none. How do I did this last week on a live, but there was like fields. So custom contact fields. So if we add a field and we call this abandoned cart value, let's see. So this would be probably a numeric field.
Sure.
Abandoned cart value. Is that the best one? I don't know if there's a monetary one. Yeah, seems pretty good. So abandoned cart value, add. And so now in our WP Fusion settings, over here, abandoned cart value, we could select, I might need to resync my fields real quick. Resync my fields. There we go. Back down to abandoned cart. And so now we can sync the cart value. Do I need to reload the page? Potentially. Cart value. There we go. Abandoned cart value. So now when people abandon the cart, we can store that cart value in the CRM and then use that data for later use. We can say, how much money are people abandoning in our cart as like an overall report. We could say, if someone has a certain abandoned cart value or a abandoned cart value greater than this amount, we want to send them a follow-up campaign. If someone was bold enough to add a $3,000 product to their cart, they might be bold enough to take this discount that we're offering now. And so when you collect that data and store it in your CRM with this add-on from WP Fusion, all of those marketing opportunities and remarketing opportunities become available to you. And it's as simple as what you saw there, where I added the field in my CRM and then synced it with WP Fusion, and now I can use that data for all my marketing purposes. And so that's another feature of the abandoned cart add-on. I guess, Jack, have you seen any use cases of this that have been like particularly like interesting or creative with the?
Well, like a good example for the value certainly would be, if it is a $3,000 product, that might be worth more than just sending an automated email. You could create a task and assign it to one of your sales reps, or create a deal in a sales pipeline and say, hey, this person was on the edge of buying like our best product. Why don't you give them a call and see why they didn't? Or even if you're running product analytics on your website and trying to figure out like where your drop-off points are, or where your products aren't selling the way the way you want them to. You could go look in Hotjar or PostHog and track that specific customer's history to see what pages they looked at before they added that product to the cart and abandoned it. So yeah, it helps you figure out the most important or the most interesting abandoned carts and which ones need the most attention.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hadn't even thought of like manual follow-up based on certain cart values. I know a lot of people, even someone joining us in the chat, Kurt runs an agency here, Mañana No Mas, and so even with like agency clients, if people were to add like a book a call with me to the cart and then abandon that, if you're using some kind of a WooCommerce in order to process like people booking appointments with you, you could do manual follow-up that way too. So a lot of opportunities there.
I think we have a question in the chat if we are okay to pivot for a second.
Yeah.
From our pre-made questions. Soren asked, what happens if the cart and the CRM are on different builds? What do y'all think about that?
The cart and the CRM are on different builds, and I'm assuming I'm on Fluent CRM on a single WordPress website, but when you set up Fluent CRM with WP Fusion, you can use the API, the REST API, to connect it to a different WordPress instance. I assume that's the question. I mean, is that how you read it, Jack?
Yeah, I think that's how I read it. And in that case, like for example, that's our setup. We sell a few different products, and they have their own sales websites, and then we have a separate standalone website that just runs Fluent CRM and sends all our emails. So all of our carts and customer data are going into the Fluent CRM from multiple e-commerce sites.
Yeah. And so whether you're connecting to something like ActiveCampaign external to the site, whether you're connecting to Fluent CRM, which I think we said Fluent CRM enough times.
We have the founder and developer Fluent CRM here in the chat. Hey, Joel, nice to see you here.
But yeah, so that's a really cool feature of something like Fluent CRM, is that you can even run it on its own WordPress instance like we do at WP Fusion. Very, very fluent response.
Thanks.
Okay, I think I have another question coming up, but if anybody else in the audience has a question, please feel free to plug them in the chat. That's what this is for. Love answering the questions. So I think we covered a number of our questions in that first response, which is super helpful. So I'm going to go to the final abandoned cart question and ask, how does WP Fusion handle abandoned cart recovery metrics?
Right, good question. It doesn't. So our job, our mission is to get your data from WordPress into your CRM, where then you can get value out of it. And some tools have better reporting tools than others. If I were using HubSpot, for example, I could build a whole customized dashboard showing the current value of my outstanding abandoned carts, the average time carts are abandoned, the success rate of offering a discount versus not offering a discount. I can do things like that in Salesforce as well, or on the higher ActiveCampaign plans. If you're using something simpler like MailerLite or Brevo, the reporting tools aren't as good. You can see tag-based reports, so you could see a count of the number of people with abandoned carts at the moment. But yeah, so the reporting really comes down to the capabilities of your marketing automation platform.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people who are setting up e-commerce with WordPress, whether they're using an LMS, a membership system, WooCommerce, or easy digital downloads, aren't fully able to use those features that their marketing automation platform has to offer. And so WP Fusion like bridges that gap to where all of those features and power that you can get out of your CRM become enhanced so that you can really make it work. So even though WP Fusion doesn't handle any of it directly, it enables all of that to happen through bridging that gap. And it makes it easier on the developers of the e-commerce products you're using, because then they don't have to handle the integration stress, because that's what WP Fusion handles.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Well, thanks for talking through that. We're going to move on to e-commerce, but if folks do have questions, more questions about abandoned cart, please throw them in the chat and we're happy to answer them. So moving on to our next topic, how does WP Fusion support enhanced e-commerce tracking with CRM integration?
So, do you want to start that one, Jack, or do you want me to?
So in the very beginning, what we were trying to solve was the problem of keeping your WordPress user data and customer data in sync with your contact records in your CRM. Just name and email address wasn't enough. We wanted to get everything out of WordPress into your marketing tool so you could use it to drive your marketing. But what some people pointed out is that some marketing automation platforms have pretty advanced e-commerce components. For example, ActiveCampaign was our first enhanced e-commerce integration, and they have a view where you can see a customer's full order history, all the products they've purchased, the coupons they've used, pictures of the products. You can run reports, product revenue reports. It's a really well-designed tool for visualizing your store data, but ActiveCampaign doesn't actually let you sell anything. So what we did was we created that connection again between WordPress e-commerce data and the CRMs that support displaying that kind of data. And then you can see, instead of just seeing contact records with custom fields on them, now you can see, for example, in Salesforce, it's very popular. WP Fusion will create an invoice, and the invoice lists all of the products that were purchased. You can click on the product and see the quantity in stock and the SKU and things like that. Run automated exports on that kind of data. So it basically does for e-commerce order data what we were already doing for user and customer data.
Yeah, and I wanted to see if I could pull up a demo with HubSpot, but I don't know if I'll get it up in time. I could probably do a demo a little bit later on the call. If you want to see advanced e-commerce in action, passing data to HubSpot, I need to log into HubSpot now, reconfigure my WP Fusion with my API, but I can come back and show some more.
I'll log into mine and just make sure it's not full of dummy transactions. Let me take a look. You try yours and I'll try mine. Got it.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I can talk a little bit about our Black Friday sale in case folks that are viewing didn't hear it or weren't here at the very beginning. We have a great Black Friday sale going on right now. All of our annual plans are 30% off. We hope you will take a look at our Black Friday page. There it is. It's an amazing deal. It's actually our only sale of the year. And if you look at our prices, it's actually the biggest sale we've ever had. So if you value this tool, if it's a reason you want to upgrade within the annual license structure, now is the time. Check it out. And if you go to that page, you'll also see an awesome intro video from Emily there. And yeah, we've got all our WP Fusion stars on our Black Friday event this weekend. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them here. Send us an email. We're on chat as well. And we'll also be back tomorrow at the same time. All right, how we doing, team?
All right, I got to figure out how to screen share on this thing. So let's try it.
Okay.
Share screen, and I'm going to, hold on here. Okay. Let's see. I want to do gray window. Okay. Do you see my HubSpot dashboard now?
We can.
Cool.
I can see it.
So again, I'm not using HubSpot to really sell things. We just use it for testing. So it's not as exciting as it could be. But this is a custom dashboard that they give you by default. And you can drag widgets around and add new ones and customize them. I've set the date range for the last years just so we can see some data in it. And we can see there are 2 new contacts and 2 new sales created in the last 30 days. So let's see, let's change this to, this is what I was talking about. Reporting varies wildly between the marketing automation platforms. HubSpot's pricing starts at $800 a month. So it's kind of considered enterprise, but you get a lot for your money. let's do last 365 days. Sure, and update the report. Yeah, so we can see there are 130 sales. We can see the increase in sales. We can see the deals in their various stages. So here we have processing orders, 297. So that would mean an order that's pending but hasn't been charged yet. Paid orders, and then over here we can see pending and failed or refunded. We can see the sum amount of sales over time. And then we could break this down if we were using sales reps. We could see their individual reports. It's quite customizable. If we go into the actual deal section here, you can see a history of all my WooCommerce orders, what state they're in, the amount, the customer, and then we can click on it and we get all the order details. This one didn't have any products in it. Let me see if I can find one that's a little more exciting. How about this one? We have so much sample data, it's hard to know. I'll try one more. All right, anyway. So we've got the deal amount. We can sync custom deal fields. We, of course, track the amount the person paid. We could create a task for somebody to follow up with the customer. For example, if you're an agency or we work with a lot of customers who do real estate or sell cars, like big ticket item kind of things like that, where they need a more hands-on approach with their customer. So you can keep track of your history with that customer here. You can link the deal to a company. You can link it to support tickets. You can see a history of everything that happened, the various stages. And then over here, this is where you would normally see the products in the deal. So HubSpot keeps a product library, and all of these products are synced into HubSpot from WP Fusion. So these are all of my various WooCommerce testing products and membership products. So I could, for example, just add a few products in here so you can see what it looks like. It tracks discounts, and then it updates the total, update the deal amount, and back to deal. So that's really useful. Another thing that I like is the pipeline view. So I have one here that I use a lot when we're testing GiveWP for donations. And we put it on our board. And I can create like a Kanban board type layout where I can see I've got these 3 people are interested in donating but haven't yet. This is a new donor. We need to give him a call and thank him. For this give payment, the person, we've sent them a thank you note or a gift, and then we mark this as closed. And again, we can set date ranges. We could filter by sales rep. We could filter by whether or not the order was completed or abandoned. So yeah, it's quite customizable.
Yeah, and you can sync those all to your WooCommerce or your easy digital downloads or whatever you're using for products. So like all of that can go in alignment with your WordPress website, which is that feature WP Fusion has to offer.
Yeah, and we support, of course, WooCommerce, but also easy digital downloads, Lifter LMS, Gravity Forms, which you can use for payments and is actually really flexible for creating like quote forms. If somebody's interested in working with you, they like fill out the various options and Gravity Forms will generate a price for them. WP Fusion could sync that into HubSpot or Salesforce or ActiveCampaign as a pending quote, and then create a task for you to finalize the quote, confirm it with the customer, and then send them an invoice to pay. And then MemberPress, Event Espresso, Give for donations, and we've recently added support for SureCard as well.
Nice. Nice. There's a lot of layers that you can set up with WP Fusion and all these products and integrations. So if anyone in the chat has any questions about their specific CRM or anything they're interested in setting up with these add-ons or other add-ons, let us know. Because with just so many integration possibilities and so much potential of what you can set up, sometimes it might be useful to join us live, ask a question, and see if we can work it out for you. But Renee? Reen? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name in chat, but Black Friday mentioned. Black Friday, 30% off. wpfusion.com/Black Friday. So if you want to check out that deal, that's going to be live. I think that's through December 2nd, right? Through Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Until
Okay.
midnight Monday.
Awesome. So that's the only deal that we do of the year. The best deal. Oh.
He loves it when I'm on calls. It's like, oh yeah, oh, you need me? Gonna get up. That's the thing.
Nice. Katie,
Well,
Rick.
I think I'll keep going through some questions if that works for you guys.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we've covered some of them, but maybe we can explain or create some more examples from these questions that we haven't quite spoken to yet. Oh, well, we're in Cat Town. I don't know if we should even talk about where's my cat? Lilith can't come in.
I like how we have the cat animation on the screen too. This all worked out quite well.
Yeah.
It's actually our real job, is we're cat parents. All right. Well, we do have a question from Jewel in the chat about when is SaaS coming? Jack, do you know?
It's coming really soon. It's off topic, but I'll show it to you really quick if you want. I've been working on it today. Running out of time. We were supposed to launch it on December 1st, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's try this. Yeah, so this is where we're building my SaaS. It's called Echo Dash, and you basically connect it to your WordPress site and also any other services you like, Stripe, Cloudflare, your support inbox, your time tracking tool. It can receive data from anything. You get a unique URL and you send data into it. And then it uses AI to figure out what's important about your data.
Sorry, Jack, do you want to share the screen you're looking at?
Oh, is it not sharing?
It is now.
Now it is.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, you create an endpoint, you send data into it. We have a WordPress plugin that's almost finished, which automatically connects all your other WordPress plugins. And as events come in, it identifies what's important about them using AI and creates templates for displaying the events, kind of like laying out a Slack message sort of. And then as events come in real time, they show up in your feed. And they can be filtered by, you could see your abandoned carts in real time here. So for example, here's a test one yesterday with a recovery URL. I've got a lot of test data in here, obviously. But the idea is that you can connect absolutely every tool you're using in your business to this one sort of real-time events feed. And as we work more on it, we'll have things like charts, summaries, and email digests to try and alerts to try and help you get actionable insights into what's going on in your team or your company, or even in your home life. You could connect, for example, I forward my Amazon delivery notifications into it, so I can see in the stream when my packages are coming in, or financial transactions. Basically a feed, like a social feed for everything you're doing online. That's the idea. It's a little rough right now, but we're getting there. So yeah, it's coming soon, hopefully.
That's awesome. That really feels like it unlocks a lot of potential. Like, I think a lot of the users I've been working with struggle to figure out what they should set up for their marketing automation, and even just where to start. They end up having to take like a course about like what kind of marketing should I do, and then also another course on how to use the technical part of the tools. But something like this would allow people to, or open the door for people to set up some like pre-built automations, right? Where you could say, hey, do you want to like set this campaign up to connect your WooCommerce to this thing, this CRM? Like, would that kind of be some of the potential that would have to offer?
Yeah, so I want to be careful that we're not like, I don't want to just create another active campaign. So the idea is more like, instead of having to get into work every day, for example, for me, I have several notification channels in Slack which show what happened, went on overnight with our developers. orders. I look at new purchases that came in. I look at Jira to see new tickets. I look at Notion for new mentions. I look at GitHub to see if anybody's tagged me in a pull request I need to review. So I'm switching tabs between all these different things to figure out what I need to do. So the idea would be to just centralize all this information, dump it all in one place. And then we're using artificial intelligence and a very flexible alert system to sort of digest all that down into the important things you need to know, like right away, and as you need to know them. You could say, if a customer with a super high value product in their cart abandons their cart, send a text message to my phone, or ping me on Slack, or send a browser notification, that kind of thing.
Cool. It's exciting and a very good use of AI.
Yeah, it's I like we're not trying to do too much with it. AI is very, very good at taking a big package of data and summarizing it down into a few points that then we can put into charts. So it's been very reliable at that, and I haven't seen anybody doing that yet. So maybe if we ever finish it, we'll be the first ones.
You're going to finish it. You guys have been working on it so hard, I know, and it's going to happen. We've already got fans in the chat ready to use it. It's a great comment and will be useful for those who run multiple businesses. I think that was kind of your original intent, right, Jack?
The problem that I have, we're between the two companies now, I'm working with 12 different people, and they are often all working on completely separate things. And unless I go and like check in the different apps that they're using, I don't really know what's going on most days. So it's going to solve a lot of my problems. I hope it solves problems for people like me too.
I think that's kind of the best creation that you can make, is one that is a solution for yourself that hopefully benefits other people. Hopefully means you're putting a lot of intention because you care about the outcome more so because you're going to use it too.
Anyway, back to eCommerce. Do we have any about eCommerce?
All right, let's talk about it. Like I said, we might hit some repetitive points, but let's just dig further into it in our last 18 minutes of our live stream. So e-commerce, what customer behaviors can WP Fusion track for enhanced e-commerce insights? Some examples would be great.
What behaviors? It can track, of course, new purchases, and it can track order status changes. So especially, I showed the example of the pipeline stages in HubSpot. So we do a lot of work helping people with GiveWP set up HubSpot for managing donations. It seems to be a really popular combination. And so we associate GiveWP order statuses with HubSpot pipeline stages. And then as the donation moves through its life cycle, then that's updated in HubSpot. And then HubSpot has marketing automation like we're used to with the other CRMs, but it also has pipeline automation. So kind of like Katie, like you and I use in Jira. So when a deal moves from one stage to another, then this can trigger an alert, set a custom field, create a note, and do something else. So it helps large organizations keep on top of their orders.
Super, super helpful. Emily, any thoughts on that?
I think I mean, for someone who's using HubSpot, they're definitely going to be like a larger organization, but even for like kind of any size organization setting those kind of things up, I think thinking about different types of example organizations, like Jack mentioned Give as a solution for like donations. And so if you're doing voluntary e-commerce or like selling a product kind of e-commerce, there's a lot of potential there for sending those behaviors to your CRM and then using that data to follow up.
Selling physical products is also a great example, especially if there's some customization involved. Say you're an artist and you're doing custom engravings on pieces of silver or something like that. You need to first get the commission from the customer, make sure that it's work that you can do, then send them a quote, get them to accept the quote, pay it, do the work, get them to approve it, ship it, confirm that the tracking number has been generated, and then confirm that they've received it. So that's like 8 pipeline stages right there. And if the order gets stuck at any point for too long, the customer gets dissatisfied. So by being able to track those changes and sync them from WordPress into the CRM, you can even set up automations that would say if a single order gets stuck in one spot for more than 5 days, set off an alert and like act on it. So it helps prevent things from falling through the cracks.
Yeah, totally.
Very helpful.
Zach's got a comment. I'm not an admin, so I don't know how to post it on the screen, but there it is. Zach says he tags all the discount codes he creates for Black Friday, so users who check out with a certain code get tagged in the CRM. Yeah, we do that too. And I like being able to look. I can really quickly see through the years how many people checked out from each of our Black Fridays because they're all tagged with each year's sale.
Yeah, as my first year coming on board, being able to look at those numbers and kind of predict what we're working with this weekend was extremely helpful in getting ready. So I love that feature. It's one of the first things I really understood, and now I'm actively working in. So thanks for that point, Zach. All right, let's move on to another question. Can WP Fusion create dynamic tags for customer actions in enhanced e-commerce?
Yeah, so our enhanced e-commerce add-on actually doesn't do any tagging. That's all included in the core plugin, and that's part of the personal license. So that's just like our entry-level plan. And yes, it can create dynamic tags in a lot of platforms. So for example, if an order status changes for a specific product, it can create a new tag that says widget shipped or something, or sweater refunded, and it will apply that tag in the CRM. Since they're dynamically created, they're not so good for triggering automations because you won't have built an automation for a tag that doesn't exist yet. But it's a great way if you have, for example, just a list of all of your tags and you're looking at the tag counts to see what's going on, like what your most popular products are, where orders are getting stuck in certain stages and that kind of thing. Yeah, but that's available in the personal license, just in the core plugin.
And I haven't used dynamic tagging before, but yeah, that is an interesting feature. I know like dynamic coupon generation is useful, but I'm trying to think of like what a use case for that would look like in the real world. I guess if there's like a prefix or something like that, I guess dynamic tagging could be used for a prefix, but I don't know, Jack, what do you think like the most popular use cases of those dynamic tags are?
Well, so like a really common one that I see would be collecting form entries. So let's say you have a Gravity form or Fluent Forms, and it asks, I don't know, what industry do you work in? And there's 30 choices. Historically, you would have had to go into your CRM and manually create a tag for every one of those choices and link it up with the option on the form in order for it to be applied when the person submits the form. So it's possible, but it's a fair bit of work. So the dynamic tagging gives you the ability to say, create a tag from whatever they select for their profession. And then as people fill out the form, the tags will get created automatically. So it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nice.
Super helpful.
Cool.
All right. Let's see here. How does WP Fusion integrate enhanced e-commerce data into personalized marketing campaigns?
Good question. So I'm trying to think if I have an example ready. Emily, why don't you talk about that for a minute? I'll see if I can find a platform where I have something like that set up.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that set up out of the box, but when we use the enhanced e-commerce add-on. I can link my HubSpot products to something like a WooCommerce product. Here, just right in the back end of WooCommerce, when editing a product, we'll just select which HubSpot product that's supposed to be linked up with, and then it allows us to track more data over in HubSpot for what we're going to be using this product for, selling this product, what the price of the product is, the SKU number, description, and all of that kind of stuff. So if we, I haven't used HubSpot very much, but when you have these two things linked up, when you're creating a sequence of emails or sales pages or whatever it might be inside of HubSpot to try to sell the product, to promote the product to existing users, but the question was about using the data of the products that people have, like the revenue, for example, is that right, into your customized campaigns?
Yeah, I think they're asking how to integrate the e-commerce data into marketing campaigns. I assume into emails.
Yeah.
I don't have a good example set up here, but for example, both ActiveCampaign and Drip allow you to insert product blocks from your e-commerce website into your emails. So WP Fusion will sync your products, say from WooCommerce, into the CRM. And then in ActiveCampaign, you could have an email that's triggered when somebody buys, I don't know, a t-shirt. And in your email designer, you could say, if the t-shirt was purchased, add a product block for a hat and a pullover. And it'll pull that product data live from your store and show it to the customer, and then they can click right through and purchase it. So it's like, it's kind of adding a little bit of WordPress's store design capability into your email builder. There's only a handful of platforms that support that. But yeah, Drip, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot can do that. I think OmniSend as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if you're in a use case where you need to, and not only can you filter like based on the products that people are adding inside of your CRM, which is something you can do with a lot of CRMs via tags anyway, but now you can do it like directly with products, and the associated fields. That makes sense. So if you're trying to remarket those products to the same people, another potential, I wonder, like, with the data collection capabilities of that, if you're marketing to like customers, if you're trying to segment and figure out which of your customers might buy other products, if you have like a large product line, that would be useful for that too, to be able to aggregate automatically who is buying what types of products based on characteristics they have, and then remarketing to other people with the similar characteristics.
Yeah, or like maybe you have everybody who bought last year's product tagged, and so you have them in a separate list. You can send them a marketing campaign that includes the product block from this year's product, and that's easy to do if it's just one product. Like, you could do it manually, but if you've got a store with 60 different products and you want those emails to all be dynamic, having that rich product data in the CRM lets you do that really quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. But what do you have next for us, Katie? We have like 7 minutes left. We should probably say it again for anyone else who's joining. Black Friday, it's on the screen, wpfusion.com/black-friday, 30% off. That's going to be through December 2nd, which is Cyber Monday, the only deal we do all year, the best deal we do all year, 30% off the WP Fusion packages.
Yeah, absolutely. And as mentioned before, if you look at our prices, it's actually the most you could ever save on a WP Fusion annual license. So really big savings. Take a look, go to the page, check it out. See Emily and her amazingness on our landing page, giving you all the info as well and here. And another quick reminder is that we're back tomorrow. We're going to focus on some other really important parts of WP Fusion, but also we don't have to talk about that. We can talk about what y'all want to talk about. So come prepared in the chat. You could just say hello. We can talk about cats. We love cats. But preferably we'll talk about WP Fusion if y'all are into that. So yeah, we'll be back. I don't know. I think my questions are pretty well expounded upon. I know, Emily, you're like such a rock star at showing us how to walk through things. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to show us when you share your screen or if Jack did, but that was kind of what I was thinking we could do with our final 5 minutes. Any sort of additional features that you think we're missing out on when it comes to abandoned cart or e-commerce that our WP Fusion fans should know about? We might have covered it all, but if something does pop up, let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Later this weekend, we could do a stream of how to send data from your cat to your CRM. But
Exactly. It's a new integration we've been working very hard on.
like, yeah, if your cat's heart rate goes above a specific
But
amount,
we're making progress.
that would be cool. You could order like a biometric kit for your cat to like send that data into the pipeline. So
Just
if
spinning.
if the cat's metabolism decreases, then you can order some more food automatically. But in the spirit of that kind of automation, jumping into WP Fusion settings, the thing that I think is cool is just um, the field settings, and I think this is underused by a lot of the people I work with who use WP Fusion, is all of the data here in the back end that could be synced to your CRM. I think of WP Fusion a lot as the tool that you can use to integrate all of the power that you have through a CRM with the power of WordPress. I see a lot of customers who buy the products, set up their courses or their memberships or their e-commerce stores with these tools, but they're not getting the most out of the tools and the tools have to offer. And when like the CRM sells to you and says, we're the most powerful CRM with all of these cool capabilities, you want to make sure you're maximizing those things. And I think WP Fusion helps you get the most out of those tools. And one of those features is the syncing the fields. So we talked about abandoned cart today, like the recovery URL, and not even just in the spirit of, hey, you abandon your cart, here is a URL you can go back to complete your purchase and potentially with a discount. You can also aggregate data over time of how much money's left in the cart. What is our cart abandonment rate? How does that cart abandonment rate compare to the average in the industry? And when we're diagnosing what kind of problems we need to bring consultants into our business to work on as we scale, having those data points is really useful to say, like, compared to the industry average, what is our abandoned cart rate? And maybe that's what we need to fix. A lot of people who I see hit the 7-figure or 8-figure mark, they end up stalling out in their business because they don't necessarily know what to work on at that point. They're like, we have a functional business that's working well, but we're unable to scale from here. And so having all the metrics of like where exactly in your business are the, I don't want to say like choking points, but just the points where things are getting caught in terms of falling behind industry average. Is it like your homepage is not converting to the cart? Is it people abandoning your cart too many times? All that stuff's easier to diagnose with WP Fusion.
And also, I always come back to, the only bad marketing is irrelevant marketing, right? We're building a ton of highly specific segments for this year's Black Friday campaign to try to get people relevant messages based on their history with us. And a great email segment is people who've abandoned a cart. So we've got a segment set up for anybody who started the checkout but didn't finish and hasn't come back in the last 6 months. And it's not a huge email segment, but it's worth writing a custom email just to those people and say, hey, we noticed you started to check out. It didn't work out then. The price is 30% off this weekend. You want to come back and give us a try. And for us, it's a great email to send because it showcases what you can do at WP Fusion. And it's also not the same as this generic email you get from everybody like, hey, we're having a sale now. Make you feel like, oh, okay, like this company knows me. They know I'm really interested. It's personalized, and I think that makes it more effective.
Yeah, it's definitely more effective.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, big shout out to Emily, like the queen of just on the fly, showing us a really important and essential feature of WP Fusion. And huge shout out to Jack for being supreme wisdom magician of WP Fusion. I just want to take a moment to plug some socials. so everybody knows where you can find us online. I mean, I'm sure if you're here, then you know. But we need some more friends on Blue Sky. I want to know where y'all are at. So I would love if you could add us on Blue Sky. Speaking of Emily, Emily's been producing some incredible tutorials and videos that we've been posting on our socials. So I'm going to plug all of them here, but especially add us on Blue Sky because we're a little bit lonely because I don't know how to find you all over there, and would love any help. But there's Blue Sky, there's X, and then I'm also going to plug our very cool Facebook group if you'd like to join. It's an awesome space to ask questions. Really cool community, the WP Fusion community. It's quite active, really good at swooping in and even giving answers beyond what we can do sometimes, which is really cool. We love to see
We
it.
have 2,700 members.
Say it again.
We have 2,700 members. That's like a small town.
We love WP Fusion Town, absolutely. And again, like check Emily's videos out. They're super helpful. And if there's a tutorial or something that you would like to see based on the content that we're putting out, like give us a shout out in the comments, send us an email, give us a chat. We're always looking for feedback from y'all. And that's, I think, all we have time for today.
And we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Is that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
See you then.
Thanks, Francisco. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.